I always joke with my friends that are realtors. I'm like, yeah, every really successful realtor I know failed at one or two other businesses and built a sphere of people who then they realize they can sell houses to. Because if you don't have that sphere of influence, you don't make it the first couple years. So a couple years ago, I know you've had your real estate license since 93 and you kind of dabbled in it. You did loans for a couple of years, made great money prior to 2008. What made you decide, I think right before COVID, hey, you know what? I should just go all in on real estate. Like that makes sense for me.
So I think I thought about getting back into the business back in 2017. So I let my license go, actually. So I had it for 4 years, and then I never renewed it. And then did the magazine thing. And then I think 2017, 2016, I think I signed up to take the classes. And as you know, it's not a big barrier of entry to get your real estate license.
Not at all.
So I started the courses, and then I just blew it off and stuck with the magazines. And tried to reinvent the wheel, trying to come up with something that would catch people to make it a viable business. And I did a subscription box for a while, which was pretty cool. I bought a couple of different boxes that were out there for jiu-jitsu and put them together and then used the magazine as a vehicle to promote it. It's a cool business. In fact, it's still alive today. I brought on a partner, and he ended up buying me out. And it's called the BJJbox.com. And so every month you get jiu-jitsu stuff, which is cool if you're into it. And then I decided, had enough and folded the magazine. The last issue was actually my going to Maine for the camp back in 2018, I think.
Oh, wow.
And it's funny. There's another, you wish you would have back then.
Right.
So I met Pete from Origin when they when they kind of first started.
Yeah, Pete, the co-owner of all the stuff with Jocko. They do the boots, the vitamins, the drinks, everything.
Yeah, so another thing where the magazine got me entree is he invited me out there when they opened the factory, the first factory, which was basically a garage or a barn back then in the woods. And went out there, hung out with Pete, got to meet him, got to meet the crew. And I thought he was nuts. He had all this equipment. Like John was cutting geese with a jigsaw, like... it was crazy. And, and then going back, then I went back for that last issue was me going to the camp and the grand opening of their 10,000 square foot warehouse. And when he was posting pictures of that 10,000 square feet, I'm thinking, he's nuts. What are they going to do with all that space? 10,000 square feet. That's a big building.
To make geese, which is like such a specialty product.
Yeah. And oh shoot, I'm going to go down. I don't think it's proprietary information, so I'll go and talk about it. So Pete and I, we would talk quite often. So we would call each other, and I send him the Blue Ocean. I thought that'd be a perfect book for him, and sure enough, man, he has built a Blue Ocean. And so we would talk all the time, and he saw that I had done an interview with Jocko, and he called me a couple weeks after that when it came out, and he's like, hey, what did you think of this Jocko guy? Because he didn't know anything about him. And I'm like, oh, super serious guy, really good, real good information. And I guess Jocko had approached him about, he's told the story on Rogan and stuff.
Right.
He had pitched him, the idea of buying into Origin. And I guess Marcus Lemonis was also talking to Pete at the same time. And he's like, I don't know what would you do? Who would you go with? And I'm like, Jocko, his audience is more likely to buy geese than, somebody else with a ton of, bringing a lot to the table, but not as unique to what Jocko brings. And, so then, that because of that phone call, because I gave my stamp of approval, I'm just kidding. Later on down the road, man, looking back, this is,
and you're part of the story. It's cool.
Well, it's, and I'm the only one that, it's a big deal to me, but nobody else cares.
Right.
But I remember Pete called me so Pete bought a company called, Q5, and it was a supplement company. And this guy, Bill, ran it. Super good guy. I knew Bill. He did some stuff in the magazine, and we had a real good relationship. And Pete bought it from Bill, and he asked me if I wanted to be a 10% owner.
Oh.
And it was $10,000. And I could have swung it, but I'm like, I wanted to focus on the magazine and just, really focus on that. I didn't want to, dilute my energy. And I was going to be the marketing side, the magazine, and bring that to the table. Well, that's Jocko Fuel, which you and I both know now is
a $20 million business
at
least. Yeah.
So yeah,
so when Jocko when Origin or the Jocko supplements or Jocko Fuel goes public, just ignore that. Just ignore all of that. Okay.
Jiu-Jitsu's calmed me. So hey,
it
happens.
Lost opportunities. It happens from time to time.